Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, by the title of the video and the thumbnail, you guys can tell that I'm going to be talking about bodybuilding and Islam and why I think Muslims should not compete in bodybuilding or physique or classic physique. Okay, now before I start and before I say anything else, I know this might be a controversial topic and some people may get their feelings hurt a little bit, but when I was competing, I was looking for a Muslim that would just give their opinion or their knowledge or their experience about competing as a Muslim, but there's nothing that I could find on YouTube or on the internet. So I'm making this video, and my intention is to make a good positive discussion and not something where you bash other people in the comment section. It's just a discussion to where we could come to an understanding as Muslims who want to compete or have competed or are thinking about competing. Now, also, I personally competed in physique in 2015 in 2 competitions, and I have a lot of friends who compete in bodybuilding and they are Muslim as well. So this video is, in no way, shape or form a diss or an insult to anybody, any Muslim who does compete in bodybuilding or physique or classic physique. This video is simply my own opinion and perspective based off of my experiences on competing as a Muslim. So first and foremost, there are several different problems with competing. So one is the wudu. How are you going to make wudu and how are you going to keep up with your prayers? And 2 regards your awrah, okay? And then number 3 regards lowering your gaze. So in regards to the wudu and the prayers, when you're trying to compete, you have to get a tan several days or maybe a day before your competition, depending on what your coach wants you to do. And you can't wash that tan off. You have to let it soak into your skin. And so you can't wash your hands, you can't wash your forearms, and you can't wash your face or your ears or anything like that. And that's something that you have to wash when it comes to making wudu. So I asked the sheikh, I didn't think about this until I actually had to get my tan, and then I was trying to pray and I couldn't figure out how I'm going to make wudu. So I asked a sheikh that I'm close with, what should I do? What am I supposed to do? Should I, go on with the competition? And so what he told me was, it's obviously more important to pray, okay, and to take care of your prayers and to make wudu and make sure you got to take care of your prayers. You, as a Muslim, that's what you got to do. It's a fard. You have to do that. And so there's really no excuse. So he told me, make wudu and make sure, with minimal water, but make sure there's water running down, the places that you wash. So if you're washing your face, there has to be adequate enough water to drip down your face, drip down your hands and your forearms and your ears and stuff like that. So he said, make sure you do that and just pray and inshallah khair, Allahu a'lam. And so the problem with that is you work so hard, right? You work so hard for months to compete and to diet, and then the one thing that you can't control, which is the tan, is gonna go bad and you might get points docked off of that. And I know, some people might take that very seriously. And my perspective, my opinion when I was competing is that whatever, it doesn't matter if I get some points taken off for my tan not being perfect, it'll be okay. So that's what I did. I made wudu, made sure that I took care of my prayers, and that is what I did. That is the first problem that I encountered while competing as a Muslim. Now keep in mind, alhamdulillah, I won in my 2 competitions in 2015. I won 4 first place medals and 1 second place medal. So alhamdulillah, I did pretty well, and the tan didn't get messed up. It wasn't that bad, and somehow I won 4 first place medals, alhamdulillah. But now to go on to the second subject, which is the awrah, covering the awrah. Alright, so now I did a little bit of research on a man's awrah, on the stuff that a man is supposed to cover in Islam, and most of the scholars have come to a conclusion that it is wajib or like necessary. You have to cover the area between the navel and the knees, okay, except for in front of your wife. But when you're competing, you're wearing those shorts, even with physique, the board shorts, the most covered things, you still have to wear shorts that go below your navel and a little above your knee. And so that might be, obviously exposing some of your awrah. Now, if you're doing bodybuilding, you obviously have to wear that underwear. And if you're doing classic physique, you have to wear those really short, boxers, which is exposing a lot of your awrah. So in my opinion, that's what it comes down to when it comes to awrah. You are pretty much kind of messing up in terms of Islam, because there's no way around it. If you're going to wear shorts that are covering your navel and your knee, you're going to get points docked off and you're not going to score well, and all that hard work is pretty much going to waste. And then in bodybuilding and classic physique, there's absolutely no way to cover your aura, and you know, obviously people in the audience are not supposed to be looking at your thighs or below your navel. So let me know what you guys think about that. That's one of the biggest things in terms of why I feel like Muslims really shouldn't do bodybuilding or classic physique or physique. But let me know in the discussion if you guys find any evidence that kind of you know, there's a counter argument to that, like hadith, or to this, you know, proof. Let me know, comment in the comment section below with the resource, please, so I can read about it and others can read about it as well. And then the last problem that I wanted to discuss was lowering your gaze. When you're in the back room and you're getting ready to go on the stage and, you know, compete, you have to go in this back room, and the women are, you know, pretty much naked in their bikinis. The men who are doing bodybuilding are pretty much naked in their underwear. And then classic physique and physique, those guys are also showing a lot of their body parts. Now, as a Muslim, you should be lowering your gaze as well. And when you're in the back room, when I was personally in the back room, it was just really uncomfortable for me as a Muslim. I felt super antisocial. Everybody was, you know, talking with each other, having a good time, but I was in the, you know, corner on my phone, not socializing with anybody, and it just felt like I was super out of place, and it was just really uncomfortable, and I didn't enjoy it. Now, when I finally went on stage, I was able to, you know, show my physique and get the scores and get my trophies and stuff like that. And alhamdulillah, everything was good. And there's one thing that I wanted to talk about, actually, one more thing that I wanted to discuss, and that is the prayers. When I was talking about wudu and your prayers and stuff like that, it's really easy to neglect your prayers and say, okay, whatever, I'll just make it up at the end of the day after the competition. And whatever, you know, Allah SWT will forgive me. He's the most forgiving, the most merciful. So let me just miss these prayers and I'll be good to go. If that's not, number one, that's not a good mentality. And number two, subhanAllah, look at this story. Okay, when I was competing, I, you know, struggled a lot to make wudu and to pray. And I told you guys the struggle of your tan and points docked off and stuff like that when you're tan, because you have to make wudu. But at the competition itself, I was praying, and some guy actually saw me pray, and he followed my Instagram, and he messaged me a long message of how moved he was by watching me pray at the competition, and he saw me win first place, and it was just a huge impact on that one guy. So you never know, through the biggest struggles and through things that might not seem positive, there might be a huge positive outcome that you may not even be aware of. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. If you are planning on competing, make sure you stay true, you know, to your morals and your principles, and at least the least you can do is keep up with your prayers and lower your gaze. Those are the two things that you can control, I feel like, when you're competing. And then in regards to the aura, I'm curious to see if you guys have any evidence to show that, you know, showing if you're bodybuilding or, you know, competing in other stuff, that it might be allowed to show your thigh or your, you know, a little under your navel. So I'm really curious for what you guys can find, or your discussion points and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make this video because when I was competing, I wanted to see a Muslim perspective on competing, how to compete, what are the struggles in competing as a Muslim. And so inshallah, somebody out there inshallah will benefit from this video. If you guys have any, you know, comments or concerns or any questions about competing as a Muslim, comment in the comment section below, and I'll answer it if I can. And if I can't answer, I'll let you know that I don't have enough knowledge about that certain area, and maybe somebody else will be able to answer your questions. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys didn't take any, you know, insult or offense to this video, because I didn't mean any, you know, offense or insults to anybody competing in bodybuilding, physique, or classic physique. And it takes a lot of patience and determination to actually compete and step on stage. So in no way, you know, I'm trying to knock on anyone's, you know, hustle and hard work. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Inshallah, I will see you guys in the next one.